Hi Marika.
Hello.
Hello. Well, first start off with an easy question, I hope. Do you still recall the first album you bought?
I don't know about first album. I remember the first CD that I bought
Yeah.
was Eminem.
Eminem?
Yeah. I can't remember quite which song it was, but after that, album-wise, it was probably Avril Lavigne or something terrible like that.
Why Eminem?
I think probably, if I'm being really honest, it's because my older brother was very into him, and I like to copy things that he did because I thought it was cool.
Okay.
So we always had quite a lot of Eminem playing when we shared a room. And,
But what do you still like him, or maybe the album?
No.
And how old were you when you bought that Eminem album?
Maybe about 7 or 8. No, maybe a bit older. I don't know if Mum would have let me buy that. 9.
Okay. And when did you actually get interested in the music style that you're playing yourself right now?
Well, we always had sort of similar stuff playing at home. Mum and Dad were kind of into Joni Mitchell and Simon and Garfunkel and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was always playing, and I always really enjoyed listening to it. And then I kind of, when I was 13, 14, really got into Laura Veers and her style of playing. And then when I was kind of 14, 15, there was Johnny Flynn and Laura Marling and people like that that were all kind of...
But why her style of playing? What do you like about?
I think, what, Laura Veers?
Yeah.
I think because it was simple enough that it made me feel like it was within my reach to be able to write songs on a guitar. Because before that I'd been playing the piano and I struggled with it quite a lot. And so I started to teach myself guitar, and so hearing her write quite seemingly simple songs, as in their playing on the guitar, but actually the melodies and things still managed to kind of really affect me, which is what I've always loved about her music. So I kind of felt like I might actually be able to have a go at it.
Yeah. And now in hindsight, now you play your own songs and you write your own songs. Are her songs that simple, or is there more to it than you actually thought back then?
They're, I mean, well, the guitar parts are simple, and not all of them. I mean, and also like this, I'm talking about like Year of Meteors album. Like post that, it's got a lot more kind of elaborate. But it's more in the melodies, I think, that where the complexity lies.
Yeah.
But it's very subtle. It tricks you into thinking that it's simple, and it makes it easy to listen to, which I think is a real art, rather than just being complex for the sake of being complex.
Yeah. You said you started out playing the piano.
Yeah.
Why? You had to?
Yeah. My parents got me and my brother lessons. We started learning from the age of about 4, because it's just a really good way of getting your head around music, playing music early on. You know, you've got it all. You learn to read music very early on. You've got an instrument in front of you that has every single note just laid out in front of you. But I struggled because I play by ear. So for kind of 10 years I was learning, and I was being taught to sit down and read music, and I would always get the teacher to play it and then I'd play it back, but I still really find reading music very difficult and very slow.
How come?
I feel like it's just having it, also with the piano, having it in front of you. You've got to look at a piece of paper, take in whatever note it is, which I still have to do the little, you know, counting up the lines and everything, and then do that, and then remember where it is in front of you on the piano. It's like such a long process for me, whereas if you can hear it, and you can hear it, and it's just so instant, you just play.
But the long process, meaning it kills the creativity, it kills the feeling?
Yeah, definitely. I found it, I mean, I remember writing a few songs on the piano when I was little, but it slowed me down so much that it was too frustrating. I couldn't, you know, it couldn't flow naturally as a songwriting process. It's very useful to be able to use it to be able to harmonise things and all that sort of stuff, where you can sit down and use logic and maths, but that's not how I've ever written music.
When did you make the transition from playing the piano to playing the guitar? Was there something that happened, something that clicked, or?
No, whilst still learning the piano, I'd started to learn the drums and the bass guitar.
Why?
Well, I was always hitting stuff a lot when I was younger, just not punching so much, but tapping and tapping along to things, and yeah, we decided that it'd be quite fun for me to learn the drums, and it was something I wanted to do. And,
Yeah.
so I did that, and then bass and drums are a good thing to learn together. It's all about rhythm, and you get a bit of an idea of the melody and stuff. So. And everyone always needs a bass player as well, so for school concerts and things, it meant that I got to play a lot because I was a bassist. And I started to teach myself guitar when I was about 14 because I was getting into that type of music, and I don't know why, but it just felt like the easiest way to write a song would be on a guitar, basically.
And well, you said you wrote some songs on the piano. Were they good?
No, don't think so. I was very, very little.
Okay.
6 or 7.
So once you played the guitar, you actually started writing songs too.
Yeah.
How come? How come when you play the guitar, then you have the urge to write music?
Well, I suppose I'd also written some songs on the bass prior to that, so I probably started writing songs when I was like 11. But yeah, something about the guitar just flowed a lot more easily. So I think it's always been within me to be a songwriter, as horrible and cheesy as that sounds. And instruments, I've never looked at an instrument and thought, I want to be able to play that amazingly well. Or a melodic instrument, I thought that about the drums. But yeah, I've never wanted to be sort of a virtuoso at guitar or anything like that. It's there as a medium for me to write songs. And that's purely what
And where does this urge to write songs come from, do you think?
I don't know. Just have it.
Now, sometimes people say, well, I need it to keep me sane, or...
I mean, that could be true. Because I've always done it, I haven't ever stopped. So I might go crazy if I stopped, but I don't know if that would happen. I just found that with all the free time that I had when I was younger, that's what I would do. I'd just take myself off and I'd try and write songs. And singing as well was something that was very private.
Yeah.
I didn't sing in front of anyone until I was like 14, 15. And so that was quite fun because it was like I could sing and no one would know what I was doing.
Do you still recall the first song you wrote on guitar?
On guitar? Oh, I can remember the first song I wrote on the bass, which sounded like some strange hippie LSD trip about lots of sweets and things coming to life. When I was about 12, I wrote that. I can't remember the first song I wrote on the guitar though.
Are there certain key songs that you wrote and you think, well, those are important songs because, well, I made some breakthrough or I learned something, or?
Yeah, I think a song of mine called Cinnamon, I'd been struggling with it for a very long time, and I always thought that songs had just sort of come out of nowhere and struck, and I didn't really have a process, and actually I worked really hard at that song, and it took months, not of solidly working on it, other songs would come and go in between, but to know that when it was done, and it became one of my favourite songs, and that I'd actually sat down and worked at it, made me completely reevaluate how I go through the process of songwriting, and it kind of took the pressure off. Like I didn't have to sit around waiting for something to happen. I can sit down and work and write and get stuff done, which was a big relief actually.
And what, in hindsight, did trigger for you? Was the trigger for you to actually finish the song, or what?
Well, it was just I kind of felt like I really liked the bits that I had of it, and I just needed to kind of put them together. And it took a while to finally get it in its, last position. But yeah, it was. I didn't want to let it go. There was just something about it I didn't want to drop, the melody line or whatever. There was something there, and yeah.
So that was something that actually did change your songwriting.
Yeah.
Is there another song They did the same? They did the same, like Cinnamon? Or is it just this was the key song for you in your songwriting, or the other songs?
Around a similar time, I think, I wrote a song called Itchy Teeth as well, which was actually came from a Skype conversation I was having with someone. And I was just playing on my guitar, saying, oh God, talking about really boring chord progressions and how they just get used over and over again. And I did one, and just a melody just hit my head like as I did it, and so I ended the Skype conversation and then wrote that song over one of those really boring chord progressions. So that was that was quite a bizarre way of writing a song, sort of taking the piss out of other stuff that goes on and then ending up writing something around it.
So what did this learn you?
That it's all right to take stuff back to being quite simple and predictable. You can still come up with a good song at the end of the day. And it's a very simple guitar part. It's just very lightly strummed. You know, there's not any technical picking or anything going on. And it's okay to just strip it back sometimes.
And well, you've released 3 EPs last year.
Yeah.
Why 3? Why in 1 year so many songs?
Well, I think it's been an exploration for me. I've been able to grow throughout that process, and people who listen to them can probably see there's a growth. It's also nice to be able to record songs and put them out there whilst they're still kind of fresh and exciting for me as well, you know, not just for everyone else. I had them ready to go, so why not record them and put them out?
Yeah.
And experiment with them, you know. It was nice to have the time to make records and experiment for quite, you know, a year and a half or so, without the pressure of it being that debut album kind of looming in the distance. And it made me feel much more confident when it came to recording the album, that I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah, was it a pressure for you, the debut album?
In the end, no.
But
and I think because I'd gone through that process with the EPs, it really did take the pressure off. Because I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I've been working with Charlie before anyway, so we knew what our working relationship was like, and we were completely just left alone to get on with it.